everyone, I am Vanessa, and I am here to tell you a little bit about my artist story and maybe give you a little bit of inspiration on your own journey to being an artist. Let's go! I promise not to be too silly. So our first topic is about schooling. Personally, no, I did not go to college specifically for art. I have a humanities and social sciences degree, which alludes to a lot of things, not just art. I did, however, take a lot of art classes, both in dorm college and online college, because both of those are good options if you want to do college. They're both good. I would suggest that even if you don't get an art degree, because art degrees are not necessary for you to be an artist, you can be an artist with or without said degree. It is good to take some classes, both high school, college, in real life, because there is also community classes as well. Education is so important, and the most important thing is it helps you find inspiration, and in your own creativity you may learn something you had never heard of. It transports you to different places and different ways of thinking and different types of art that you may have never even heard of. So take those college classes, and good luck. Being paid as an artist varies a lot. You can set your own prices. Some people may try to tell you, oh, art isn't worth a lot of money, or art isn't not a real job. Those people are incorrect. Do not listen to those rude naysayers. Art is a worthy profession and a powerful one, and you deserve to be paid. However, how much you be paid is entirely up to you. Personally, I like to keep my prices low because I live in a fairly low-income small community, and I like art to be available to everyone. That is entirely up to you. Some people have amazing luxury art that they ask hundreds and thousands of dollars for, and it's worth it because that's the kind of art they make. Everyone has that choice to price their art how they feel they want to price it. Now, if you end up being part of eventually in your creative journey, if you're part of a gallery or like a co-op store or anything like that, they might ask you to be like, hey, can we up your price a little bit so the store can also make some money? Personally, that doesn't bother me if they put a little extra for the store price on top of what I price my art. So for example, my normal art prints are normally $5, but at one of our local stores, they're $7. That doesn't bother me because to me that is still affordable price, and that is my main thing, is that people can afford art. Some people don't like that, and that's also up to you whether you feel comfortable with a co-op or gallery changing your price to fit their budget and price range. That's entirely up to you because you get to make that decision. Nobody gets to tell you what to do with your art. Now we shall discuss some pros and some cons of being an artist, creative, awesome person. Some pros. Obviously, I'm biased. It helps you see beauty in the world in a whole new way. Things you may have not noticed, flowers, trees, patterns, graffiti, lines of buildings. Art opens your mind and eyes to see your regular normal world in a whole new way and see the beauty and art in it. You can find inspiration everywhere once you start thinking in a creative mindset. It's quite inspiring. Other pros of this is that often art allows you to have more freedom, especially if you end up being a full-time artist. I myself am a part-time artist. I still have a job, like a day job, and I also do my art and my music, and personally that works for me. Other people go hardcore full-time artists, and that's awesome. That involves a lot. Both versions have a lot of hard work in different ways, but both of them also allow you to have the freedom to create what you want to create. Some people go and work in magazines and stuff where they have commissions and deadlines, and if that works for them, that's okay too. Either way, because you are being creative, it allows you some freedom and just, again, helps you see the world in a beautiful new way. However, the cons. I'm sure you may have already figured this out, being an intelligent person and a creative person, as I'm sure you are. Art is still really stigmatized. People who don't understand it sometimes will not hesitate to be rude. Like I was talking earlier, some people do not see the value in it. We know we have value. We know we are valid, us creative types and whatever you create. But sometimes it takes a while to convince other people of that. Some people can be snooty. Some people can give you cruel advice or just be cruel in general. And that is the main hard part about it, because sometimes it's hard to ignore those words. Also with being a creative, it's very hard to not be imposter syndrome or my art is not as good as everyone else's. If those thoughts enter your head, just try to remember your art is amazing, no matter what level you're at. You are walking your own path of creation, and everyone else is too. So try not to judge your point in your path to someone else's just because you think their art looks better. Your art is just as good, it's just as important, and it's just as valid, okay? I mean that. And also the other thing about being an artist that is somewhat unfortunate, often the pay is not steady. Unless, like I mentioned before, some people do magazines and study commissions and stuff. But if you're more just like, hey, I'm going to go to the market and sell my stuff there, or I'm going to sell my stuff online on Etsy, for example, that is not a steady income unless you've been going for a long time and you have a lot of support. And eventually you will have that support, but sometimes it takes a while. Goodness, it's like every social media creator everywhere. It took me 3 years to have a fairly solid following on Facebook. It deserves hard work. And some people will be like, oh, it's the internet, that doesn't count. It counts. It's still hard work. But the hard work is worth it when you start getting appreciated by people who understand it. And of course, it's worth it in the very beginning because if you appreciate it, that's enough. But it is very, very nice to have more support. The last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is inspiration. The world is full of inspiration. No matter what you create, whether it's paintings, drawings, jewelry, photography, film, sculpture, fabric crafts, doesn't matter. The world is full of amazing inspiration. Like I was talking about before with college classes, even if you're not planning to get an art degree, and again, you can be an artist without an art degree. You are an artist because you make art. That's one thing. Remember that. You are an artist because you make art, whether you get classes or not. However, classes are very inspirational. I personally am a huge history nerd, so that has helped me a lot, seeing how different cultures and people from different time periods have looked at their world through art, looked at other people through art, looked at animals through art. It's very inspiring and very cool. Libraries are a great resource, obviously, and also on that same shelf, bookstores. Running around a Barnes & Noble, or to support your local businesses, if you have a local bookstore, always good. You don't even have to buy anything. Just go into like the art section or even like the art magazine section and just look. It's so much fun to just absorb the aesthetic, and it's very fun. I love good books and magazines with cool cover art. I will show you some of them in a few seconds. So I'll go to like Barnes & Noble or a local bookstore and pull some out and just flip through them. I don't always have to buy them because books are expensive, but they're worth it. And you just get inspiration just sometimes even by just leafing through. Books are so important. Museums obviously are another amazing one, both like more history ones and the more funky ones. There are so many art museums I have yet to go to. I want to go to so many of them. I can't even describe how badly I want to go to some of them. Each of them, whether it's contemporary or classical or a cajillion of other things, and like botanical gardens, that counts as a museum in my opinion. It's a museum of nature. Just go and experience and let the knowledge and the art come into you. Let it inspire you in ways you will never even expected. So, after that little ramble, I'm going to show you some of my favorite books. My favorite art books. Or inspired books. First one is this ginormous tome. It's called 1,000 record covers, because also I am a huge music fan. I'm also a musician, but I'm also just a music nerd in general. Album covers, as this goes, like, I'm gonna find one that does not have naked people in it, because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. For example, just this page. Here's some Jethro Tull, whom probably some of you are way too young to know who that is, but they're amazing. And some other awesome things, just like, again, being careful around the naked people. Some awesome old school, beautiful crooner ladies singing some awesome jazz tunes. Just, how cool are all of these? That has naked people, so no. That one doesn't have naked people on it. This works. I did promise I wouldn't be too silly. I never promised I wouldn't be silly. But just throughout music history, there has been amazing music. And also, in that regard, I'm going to do the slightly side tangent of music videos. I'm a huge sucker of music videos. Doesn't matter what genre it is. A lot of them are art incarnate. Personally, I'm a huge nerd, and I love K-pop. And some of their music videos are just art. They're just beautiful. The same thing with a lot of Western artists. I grew up in the 90s. I am ancient. And sometimes, like, some of those grunge music videos are dark and strange, and they played with the effects. And oh boy, does it make me want to draw. Oh man. There are songs I want to draw. Music, and it's so inspiring. Listen to music while you paint. Listen to music while you sculpture, if that helps you, because it certainly helps me. And cover art is amazing. Let's see. This one is less about inspiration to look at and more proper advice. I love this little book. This is just called Still Like an Artist. And it's inspiration of how to find inspiration and make it your own. It's not copying, because copying is not good. But stealing is in going out into the world, finding inspiration, and then creating it and making it your own. Like, instead of just rewriting Bob Marley's Three Little Birds, go home, listen to that song, be inspired by that song, and try to paint a painting inspired by Bob Marley's Three Little Birds. I've been trying that for the past 10 years, and I haven't gotten there yet, but someday I will. This is a great little book. It's full of inspiration and cool little stuff. The author does these cool, like, blackout poetry things. I love these. This is another thing I wish I could do. I love this type of poetry. It's super cool. But this is a good one. If you want to see the author there. One I got recently from my last ridiculous amount of books I should not have bought in Barnes & Noble, but I did anyways. Photography. I am not a professional photographer because cameras are expensive. But I use the camera on my phone, and it's fun. I like to make trippy photos of flowers. And this is fascinating. This is what I was talking before about, like art history. The history of photography is amazing. And of course, everybody this is a very famous one. Actually, so is the cover. But it's just full of like news stuff, and there's like almost kind of spooky old photography in there, and it's so cool. I love art history and photography history. Learn about the things you're inspired by. It'll inspire you even more. Speaking of things I'm inspired by, but could never do because I'm far too lazy and too much of a chicken, graffiti, and specifically stuff like Banksy, not just Banksy, but this is a great book that talks about graffiti as both protest art in a way to brighten up your community in a positive way. Sometimes it's calling out, like, the government or local officials, and sometimes it's just cool and interesting. And you guys might have heard of him. He's from the UK, but they also talk about other artists, graffiti artists from, like, other parts of the world, and it's intense and cool and weird, and I love it. And one of my favorite things when going through a new city is seeing graffiti and murals, because it just makes the city come alive, and it gets the point and the spirit of the people in that city across far more than any of those bland business buildings. So this is something I am personally inspired by. And my last book I wanted to show you guys is the doorstopper of all door stoppers. I love this book so much. I've probably read it at least 10 times. It's literally obviously called Creative Block. I love this cover. And also you can see what I meant earlier about cool cover art. Like, it gets me, okay? But this is a big book talk about all kinds of artists, sculpture artists, and like fabric artists and photographers and everything in between. And it's interviews with different artists. They talk about kind of like what I've been doing here for you guys. Talk about their schooling, what inspires them, and they'll give you like little assignments to do. Like sometimes something to go outside your comfort zone, which is always important. This is a really good book. I recommend this. It's so good. It's my fave. Yes. So any other inspirations? I would just say again, watch music videos. Doesn't matter the genre. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube also. I don't know how to link it, but if I can, there's a specific channel I'm going to shout out here called RafiWasHere. He is an artist from Florida, and him and his wife do these awesome videos with advice, and often they're funny, and sometimes they're very heartfelt. They're always very heartfelt. Sometimes they're funny. And I find a lot of inspiration, and they talk about a lot of stuff that I don't really have the authority to talk about, like having stuff on Etsy and all kinds of stuff. So I will, if I can, I will link him in this video somehow. That's a really good inspiration and advice YouTube. Yeah, just go to libraries if you can, go to bookstores if you can, go to museums if you can, take classes if you can, just talk to other artists if you can, go to music concerts if you can, just go and experience the world safely, and all it has to offer safely, and you will find so much inspiration. And in that inspiration, you will make more art. And whether only you see the art or a million people see the art, you are an artist, and your art is amazing. You are an awesome person, so don't give up. You got this. I believe in you. This little weirdo over here believes in you, and a lot of other people believe in you too. And you gotta believe in yourself, and that will come. You are an artist, and you are amazing. And I hope you have enjoyed watching this weirdo nerd out for the past 10 minutes. Thank you for watching this, and stay creative and stay awesome. Bye, guys.